So whenever I speak, anywhere I speak, I love engagement. So I want everybody to be a part of this. So I don't want you to just sit there and listen to me, all right? So check this out. That's how I'm gonna begin. When I say how you doing, I want you to say the family is good, because we're family, okay? How y'all doing? Family good. That was okay. Let's try that one more time. How y'all doing? Family good. All right, so check this out. Being that I am a poet and I have traveled all across the U.S. doing spoken word poetry, it's very important that I get feedback. So if at any time that you hear something that you like during my speech, it's okay to snap like the baby is doing. Like, you know, it's okay to clap your hands, to stomp your feet, to say, oh yeah. Everybody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, that was cool. That was cool. All right, so I'm gonna begin with a poem. Cars, motorcycles, skyscrapers, bridges, rockets, airplanes, trains, computers, cameras, phones, televisions, radios, ultrasound machines, x-rays, elevators, escalators, and satellites. They all have one thing in common. They're all created by these things, these creatures called humans. You know, they have 2 hands and 2 feet and 10 toes and 10 fingers. Humans, just like you and me. Extraordinary beings who created extraordinary things. Humans, just like you and me. Their minds erected ideas that gave birth to inventions, eager to become the very change in the world that they've always envisioned. See, these humans literally took blank canvases of life and painted masterpieces out of passion, driven with purpose. Humans, just like you and me. My fiance, she often looks at things like bridges. You know, those things that 1,000-pound cars drive across. And then airplanes, those metal things that literally fly 35,000 feet in the air. And then cameras that literally freeze moments in life. And every time she looks at these things, she says the same thing. Wow. Somebody thought of that and actually made it happen. Humans, just like you and me. A long time ago, I decided that I wanted people to be wowed by my presence in this world. So 3 years ago, I quit my $40,000 salary paying job and pursued my happiness like Christopher Gardner. I decided I no longer wanted to treat my passion and my purpose like it was a hobby, only suitable for weekends and vacations. I decided I no longer wanted to leisurely date my dreams, so I said I do and I will, making a commitment for the rest of my life. A long time ago, I dedicated my life to this dream of mine. And some days my dream and I don't get along. I say I quit and I'm moving on. My dream slaps me in my face and says, shut up, be patient and hold on. Nothing about this ride is supposed to be easy. So I straighten up and get back to working daily to lay down the pavement to my yellow brick road to success. I no longer desired a normal life, so I quit doing the norm. I instead went from a 9 to 5, building someone else's empire, to working 9 to 9 to build mine. It made no sense. It made no sense to keep spending my precious time doing work that didn't align with my divine direction. I was tired of complaining to myself. I hate my job. It's Monday again. Oh my God, I hate my boss. I was tired of giving excuses to myself. I'll take that vacation next year. I mean, I don't really need a new car, even though this one barely wants to start. I mean, I would go out, but going out, that's for people who don't have a life. And all the while, my life was being wasted, slaving for paychecks that barely got me by. Nowadays, I'm hungry, and I don't settle for a piece. I want the whole dang pie. And I ain't reaching for the sky. I don't want a house on a hill. I want a mansion on Jupiter, address cloud 9. I want a piece of this world and it will be mine. I'm reaching for new heights. I'm no longer settling for good. I'll much rather be great. So at night when I go to sleep, I am anticipating waking up so I can live my dreams. I refuse to be another sun forever eclipsed and forgotten because I was too afraid to shine. So cover your eyes and watch me light up this world. Give it up for that, give it up for that. Thank y'all. So that was the poem, and I hope you liked it. I feel like you did. Thank you for receiving it. So yes, I am Chris James. I'm a 26-year-old poet, and that's literally what I do for a living. How many of you guys know anybody who does poetry for a living? By show of hands, anybody? See, I know it's a rare thing. It's very rare, you know, just like an astronaut or a scientist. Like you rarely ever know anybody who's a poet for a living. And a long time ago, I decided that this is what I wanted to do in my life. I realized that I was making an impact with it. I realized that I loved it. So I told myself, this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And in the beginning, I didn't know if it was going to make money. I didn't know if people were going to like what I had to say. I didn't know. And like Les Brown's mother, if anybody knows Les Brown, who he is, he's one of the most successful speakers of our time. And he was adopted by a woman who couldn't have children of her own. And when she adopted him and his twin brother, she had no idea how she was going to raise these two boys. But being that it was her dream to become a mother, she became a no matter what person. She was going to raise these children. She was going to be a mother no matter what. And like her, I decided that I was going to be a no matter what person. I said, hey, I want to be a poet, and I'm going to make this happen no matter what, no matter the circumstances. In the Peter Pan movie, in the fairy tale Peter Pan movie, anybody ever seen Peter Pan? By show of hands, she raised her hand. She's like, yes, I just watched it last night. In the Peter Pan movie, Peter Pan, he's told that if he believes and thinks happy thoughts, he can fly. Y'all remember that? Yes. And most people never fly because they don't believe. People often ask me, Chris, how are you able to be a poet? How are you able to travel all over the U.S. and take care of them 5 kids you got off of poetry? And I'd be lying if I told them that, oh man, just because I'm good at it. But what got me where I am in life right now is believing. And I know often this can be hard to believe in something that ain't tangible, something you can't touch right away or see right away or taste or smell. I once heard someone ask, you believe in air, don't you? And you can't feel it, you can't taste it, but you trust and know and believe that air is going to be in your lungs. So I ask you right now, by show of hands, how many of you in here believe that the color red is red? Raise your hand if you believe the color red is red. Oh my God. That's amazing. This is a serious question. How many of you believe that there is a God? Raise your hand if you believe that's a God. And if I ask you right now, if I ask anybody, if I ask everybody in this class, in this room, why do you believe the color red is red? Why do you believe that God is God? And some of you guys will probably give me some profound answers and prolific, so good we can probably put it in a book and sell it. Right? Do you agree? I believe that. But the most simple answer to those questions are, you believe in God and you believe in the color red and that the sky is the sky and you believe in all these things because all your life you have been told that they are. It's been conditioned in our minds. And there's nothing that can take your belief away from, your belief in God away from you. There's nothing that can make you believe that red ain't red or that air is going to be in your lungs or the sky ain't blue. There's nothing that can take that away from you. You will argue somebody up and down about it because you believe in it that much. You're that passionate about it because you know it. You know it's possible. You know it's there. I often tell people we have to be that same way about our dreams. We have to be just as passionate about our dreams and the things that we want out of life. All right? Don't let anything take your dreams away from you. All right? If you want it that much, fight for it. Argue about it. Don't give up on it. Don't question it. The same way you don't question God or other things that are not tangible. Be the same way about your dreams. Some of the most successful people that we admire in life, and from over the last 100 years. Some of the most successful people that we admire, that we talk about all the time, they all wanted something different out of life. They all wanted something different out of life, so they done something different so they can get different results, right? Everybody say different? Different. Gets you different results. So all these people that I'm about to mention here briefly, they all had one thing in common, one thing. And that one thing was they took risk. From Steve Jobs. Everybody know who Steve Jobs is? The man who created Apple and all that, right? This man dropped out of Harvard. Is that not crazy? You can think about how many people laughed at him and doubted his dream and his vision. This dude dropped out of Harvard and decided to create computers in his parents' garage. And 10 years later, he had a $10 billion company. Tyler Perry. This dude saved $12,000 and invested it into a stage play. And guess how many people showed up? 30 people showed up. But he done it again the next year, and the next year, and the next year, and now he's one of the most successful filmmakers right now. And he's a millionaire, right? Christopher Gardner. He worked as an intern, as a stockbroker, for 6 months without getting paid. Some of y'all, most of y'all seen the movie Pursuit of Happiness. It was a true story. This man slept in public restrooms with his son beside him. This dude ate scraps for 6 months straight because he wanted something so bad and he wanted it that passionately. Mark Zuckerberg said the only risk, the founder of Facebook, by the way, the creator, he said the only risk is not taking any risk. Y'all believe that? The only risk is not taking any risk. I got a challenge for y'all. Everybody say challenge. Challenge. I challenge all of you, just like these successful people that we admire, like Nelson Mandela, to Gandhi, to Malcolm X, to Martin Luther King, all these radical people who've done something different to get different results out of life. I challenge you to do something different, to do things that are risky, that are scary, that are unheard of, the things that people look at and say, man, that's crazy. You gonna do what? Because if you're not dreaming big enough, you're not dreaming big enough. All right? Dream big. Don't be afraid to dream. And I tell you this, do it. Everybody know the Just Do It, commercial? Nike, right? That's the thing. Just do it. Try. Anybody know what the word try means? Anybody? That's a rhetorical question. I know you know it. But I'm going to tell you anyway. The definition of try, if you look it up in the dictionary, it says the attempt to execute. So I always tell people to take the word try out of your vocabulary. Because if you keep having the word try in your vocabulary, in your mind, you're probably not going to do it. For example, if somebody said, hey man, I'm going to try to make it. I'm going to try my best. Or if your parents probably told you when you were younger, I might get you those new shoes. We might go swimming. It probably didn't happen. Because try and the word might, all these words are fixations of failure. So don't try to do nothing for the rest of your life. Don't try. Just do it. Have that do it mind state. Everybody say, I'm going to do it. Because if you don't do what makes you happy, if you don't do what makes you happy right now, for the rest of your lives, you are going to be miserable. And there are people that are miserable around you right now. You talk to people who are miserable every day. You probably live with them. You see them, you pass them up on the freeway. You see people that are miserable every day. They serve you food often. Don't be one of those miserable people. All right? And you can be miserable with a whole lot of money. Or you can be miserable and broke. Because if you're not doing what you love, if you're not doing what makes you happy, you will be miserable, and the people around you will be miserable. And doing what you love, trust me, is going to be scary in the beginning. But if you keep doing it, keep working towards it, I promise you it's going to happen. It's going to become a reality. In closing, the Apple campaign in the 1980s, their campaign, the advertising campaign theme, it was think different. Everybody say think different. Think different. Before I get to that, before we think different, I want to say this. Everybody say no excuses, only execution. One more time, everybody say no excuses, only execution. Because excuses, y'all, I'm telling you, because excuses are only well made up lies. And we know lie to yourself. Everybody say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So back to the campaign. So the campaign, that theme was think different. And I'll read, in closing again, I'll read the transcript from that commercial. And I'll get out y'all's way so we can graduate these beautiful people. All right? So the commercial reads, here's to the crazy ones, the misfits, the rebels, the ones who see things differently. They're not fond of rules. They have no respect for status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify them, or vilify them. But the only thing you can't do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazy ones, we see them as genius. We see them as genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are usually the ones that do.
I would just echo what Tom said. One of the best I've ever heard. And been around a while and heard a lot of them. So very uplifting, very encouraging. Really enjoyed it.
I was absolutely positive with the best graduation speech that I've had an opportunity to hear. I've been doing this, and I've heard a lot of graduation speeches, trust me. And some of them are painful. That was not painful, that was very encouraging, that was exciting, and motivation. So it doesn't get any better.